Hi guys, Mrs. Kelly here. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend with your families. I just wanted to get on here so that we could do a little lesson on point of view and perspective um, for you guys this week while you are reading Hoot. Because you obviously need to be able to identify the point of view of the novel as well as the different perspectives that the characters have in the two stories that the novel is telling. So right now I'm going to share my screen, and please feel free to take notes if you want to. You can always refer back to this if you need it. And here we go. Okay, so on our flip chart, you'll see that point of view is who is telling your story or who is narrating what you are reading. This could be a character, it could be an animal, it could be an outside narrator. And pronouns are something that we always look for when we're talking about point of view that help to give us a clue as to what point of view the story is told from. So if we look at our next slide, there are multiple types of point of view, and some of you will have these notes in your ELA journals if you have those at home. The first type of point of view is first person. Whenever we are talking about first person point of view, the narrator is usually the main character, and they share their own thoughts as well as feelings. So it is one character telling a story. They tell it from what they see, what they hear, what they think. Pronouns that you'll see used are I, my, me, mine, we, our, and ours. Now with second person point of view, this is told to you. This is similar to a how-to, directions, a recipe. This is not common in a novel or a fictional story. Pronouns that you'll see used are you and your. So it's told to you. Now with third person, we have three different types of point of view. And obviously you need to really think about what you know about the characters when you're deciding what type of third person point of view the story is being told from. So with third person omniscient, we know the thoughts and feelings of every character. So the narrator tells the stories and we know all the characters' thoughts and feelings. Sorry about my underlining, it's done with the mouse. So omniscient is all-knowing. We know what every character thinks, every character feels. Now, with third person limited, we only know one character's thoughts and feelings. So it is what one character thinks and feels. Other characters may speak in the story, but it's not giving us info about their thoughts and feelings. And last but not least is third person objective. This is when a narrator is an observer, meaning they are an announcer at a game or an announcer on a American Ninja Warrior. They only know what they can see or what they observe. They do not know anyone's thoughts or feelings. So they know no one's thoughts and feelings. Every third person story, no matter which type, is always told by a narrator. That narrator is sometimes somebody outside of the story. The narrator also could be a character. So with third person pronouns, no matter what type of third person, you'll see words like he, she, it, they, we, and their. So now we are going to look at some example stories, and we're going to be highlighting pronouns to help us to figure out what point of view it's told in, as well as thinking about whose thoughts and feelings do we know and who is actually telling the story. So let's look at this first one, and we can highlight our pronouns as we read. It was early, way too early for John to be bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway and leaping onto his sleeping parents. But he did it anyway. He hurled himself into his parents' quiet bedroom shouting, "It's my birthday, it's my birthday." His mind was full of racing thoughts. Enormous packages to open, monstrous slices of chocolate cake piled high with frosting, a house full of people just visiting just for him. His mouth watered with the thought of birthday ice cream sundaes as he squealed. When do we eat cake? When do we open presents? Uh-oh, thought John's mom. She knew she still had to buy his special gift, a new cherry red bike. but there were things to finish around the house before she could sneak away to the toy store. That's a long way off, mister, his mother said. Your party isn't until tonight, and we have plenty of things to do to get ready before your guests arrive. The first thing you should do is go wash up, and we can have some birthday pancakes. John pretended to grumble, but he was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks hot off the griddle. So looking at this, we have pronouns from first person, second person, and third person points of view. So our pronouns are a clue because you want to look at all the pronouns that are not in dialogue. So you want to look at those pronouns. Also, since it is not saying, I did this, I did that, we know that a narrator is telling the story. So one clue that we could write down is a narrator tells the story. That lets us know that this is some type of third person. Another thing that we could look for is whose thoughts and feelings do we really know in the story? If you look at the first paragraph, it tells you all about John. He's shouting. He was bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway, leaping on his sleeping parents. He's yelling, it's my birthday. His mind was full of racing thoughts. So we know that John is amped or excited about his birthday. He squeals, when do we eat cake? When do we open presents? So in this first paragraph, it's telling you all of John's thoughts and feelings about his special day. But if you look in the second paragraph, we know not only John's, but we also know Mom's. She says, uh-oh, thought John's mom. Also, she knew she still had to buy his gift. So we know that she's nervous because she didn't get John his brand new bike yet. So obviously, since we know two characters' thoughts and feelings, we know that this point of view for the first story would be third person omniscient. Kelly can't spell. So third person omniscient. There we go. And let's go to our next one. And we'll highlight those pronouns as we read again. So if you look at this one, it says, it was early, way too early for me to be bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway and leaping onto my sleeping parents. But I did it anyway. I hurtled myself into my parents' quiet bedroom shouting, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. My parents woke from their slumber as I squealed, when do we eat cake? When do we open presents? That's a long way off, mister, my mother said. Your party isn't until tonight, and we have plenty of things to do to get ready before your guests arrive. The first thing you should do is go wash up, and we can have some birthday pancakes. I pretended to grumble, but I was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks hot off the griddle. So looking at this, you can tell from reading this that John is telling the story because it's everything that he did. So it says, I hurtled myself. It says, I squealed. It also says, I was looking forward to it. So we know that it is telling us John's thoughts and feelings. We also know that John is telling the story. So since it is one character telling the story, and he's the main character, and we know that all of his thoughts and feelings, this would be written in first person. Okay, so, and let's look at our last example. We have one more to do. And this one, pull this over so you guys can see it. And this one says, it was early, way too early for John to be bounding out of bed, racing down the hallway and leaping onto his sleeping parents. But he did it anyway. He hurtled himself into his parents' quiet bedroom shouting, it's my birthday, it's my birthday. His mind was full of racing thoughts. Enormous packages to open, monstrous slices of chocolate cake piled high with frosting, house full of people visiting just for him. His mouth watered with the thought of birthday ice cream sundaes as he squealed, "When do we eat cake? When do we open presents?" "That's a long way off, mister," his mother said. "Your party isn't until tonight, and we have plenty of things to do to get ready before your guests arrive. The first thing you should do is go wash up, and we can have some birthday pancakes." John pretended to grumble, but he was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks hot off the griddle. So looking at this, we know that a narrator is telling the story. We also know that this one's a little bit different because we only know the thoughts and feelings of John. So it tells us up here that he was shouting. It tells us up here that his mouth watered with the thought of birthday ice cream as he squealed. It also tells us he was looking forward to some special flapjacks hot off the griddle. So we know his thoughts and feelings, just John's. Therefore, we know that this would be an example of third person limited because we know one character's thoughts and feelings. So that is the easiest way to identify point of view, is by going through, finding your pronouns. And then if your pronouns don't tell you exactly, you need to look for who is telling the story, as well as what characters' thoughts and feelings do you know. So next up, we're going to talk about perspective, which is not the same as point of view. Perspective is how an author, narrator, character feels about a topic. So it's their feelings, it's their opinions, their beliefs. When we look for perspective in a story, and what helps us to understand perspective is a problem or conflict within the story, anything that a character faces. We also want to look at a character's actions. What do they do? How do they act? Their feelings, their attitude, their beliefs, and also dialogue, when they're speaking, how they're speaking to other characters. And those give us clues to their perspective within the story. So if we look at our one story, and this one was our third person omniscient story. So this one is third person omniscient. So in our third person omniscient story, we know that who is telling the story. Since it is omniscient, we know that a narrator is telling the story. Now it says, what information does the reader gain because this person is telling the story? Since this is omniscient, we know how John feels because he is shouting. We know that he's excited about his birthday. It's my birthday, it's my birthday. Everybody loves their birthday. We know that his mind was full of racing thoughts because he's so excited about all the things, sorry about my underlining, all the things that come with his birthday, like the packages, the cake, the ice cream sundaes. But we also, since it's omniscient, know John's mom's thoughts and feelings. Uh-oh, she thinks. So her problem is she still has to buy his gift, which is really important for her birthday because everybody likes to get a present of some sort. So what information do we gain because this person is telling the story? Since it's a narrator, we know both John and his mom's, John and his mom's feelings / thoughts. And because we know both characters' thoughts, we don't really miss out on anything because we understand what both characters are feeling at this particular moment. Now, if it was told from a different perspective, like maybe the narrator made this third person limited, like the last story we read, and where we only know John's thoughts and feelings, we would not understand his mom's perspective because she's not a part of the story, because we only see the narration about her. We don't know what she's thinking or feeling. So that is one way to tell perspective. We can see John's thoughts and feelings as well as his mom's in the third person omniscient story. And the last example I have for perspective is first person. So if we look at this, and let me scoot this story over so you guys can see the whole thing. Since this is our first person story, when we look at this, we know that it's first person. So since it is first person, we know that the person telling the story is John. So John tells the entire story. Because it's John telling the story, we know all of John's, or all of his, thoughts and feelings. But because John tells the story, we do not know what any other character is feeling. So since we don't know any other character's perspective, we only know what John knows or what he feels. So if this was told in a different perspective, like the last story, which was omniscient, we would know more about each character, including Mom, since she's there. So, and John's dad. So we might know more about the characters. So if it was told in a different point of view, we would know more info about each character. So I hope that this helps. In looking at this, I know we didn't underline again, but looking at this, you can tell John's perspective because he's super excited. It's my birthday. It's my birthday. He's hurdling himself. He's bounding out of bed, so you know you're excited. He's squealing, so that shows excitement. Also, it says that he was actually looking forward to some special birthday flapjacks. So all of those are his thoughts and feelings. So I hope that this helps you guys while you're reading Hoot to figure out different characters' perspectives or what they're thinking and feeling, as well as the point of view of the entire novel. Please let me know if you guys have any questions, and thanks for watching. And I hope that we get to Zoom soon and we get to see you all. Have a wonderful week. See you later.